What's going on, guys? CrustyKs here. We're back. It's been a while, but we're here. We're ready to talk about this college basketball slate for Thursday. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first one we're going to talk about, UAB take on FAU. In their first meeting this season, UAB did come out victorious. They won 81-76. Now here they are at home, laying 5 points, and I'm going right back to UAB. They're off a loss to Memphis, a game that I felt that they should have won. They played pretty close up until the end, but they just couldn't hit a basket. Now you get them on their home floor. FAU is a team that in this conference, I think they still get a bit of line respect just from previous teams with Dusty May. That's not the case though this year. This team's not very good. I think some of that leftover line respect still built into some of these lines, which is why this line may appear short to some. But for me, UAB -5 is going to be the play. It comes down to the defense here for UAB, who's been really good at limiting opponent three-point attempts, best in the conference actually. And for a team like FAU that's a volume three-point team, I think they struggle to score from two, which is what they're going to have to try and do against this UAB defense. So for me, UAB -5. Moving through the slate here, we got a lot of American Conference, so I think we're going over 4 of them. The next one we're going to talk about, Wichita State traveling to Rice. This one's a little interesting for me. Wichita is a -1.5 point favorite on the road at Rice. This line at first glance just seems incredibly short because obviously Rice not very good. Wichita definitely not the team that we're used to seeing, but still a better team than Rice in my opinion. Looking at this one here, I do want to back Wichita. I'm a little weary of the line. So what I was actually looking at doing here, we have both teams off of two losses. Like I said, I do lean Wichita. That's the route you want to go. But I'm gonna look at the under here. These two offenses have been incredibly inefficient this season, and even with the defenses being mediocre, this just feels like a spot where we can look at just some bad basketball. Truthfully, you look at these two teams in conference play. Wichita State, 10th in overall offensive efficiency. So I mean, there's 13 teams in the conference, so almost last. And you look at Rice, and they're 10th in effective field goal percentage, 8th in offensive efficiency solely because they shoot the three ball decently well and they do get to the free throw line a lot. But overall, their shooting has been very poor. 12th in 2-point percent, 12th in free throw percent. So they're two teams that just have trouble putting the ball in the basket. I think this one ends up being pretty nasty. Give me the under in Wichita State taking on Rice. Next one we're going to talk about here, Charlotte taking on North Texas. North Texas has been my little wagon this season. I think I've backed them. Couldn't even tell you how many times. I love this team. Defense is outstanding. They shoot three ball extremely well. On their home floor, they're just a team that you don't want to play, truthfully. So in this one here, they're laying 14.5 points at home. That's a monster number, but rightfully so. Charlotte's 10-19, UNT obviously 22-6. This is a team that, in my opinion, is the only team that can compete with Memphis in this conference. So looking at this one here, you get Charlotte off with 2 losses. I think they get smoked here. I'm not gonna lie to you. This, like I said, this spread is massive, and it's massive for good reason. You see the typical UNT total of 125.5, and when we see these games, we see these kind of totals, it usually tells you like one thing, and that's UNT by a lot, and the other team's probably not going to score 50. I see that here. We look at Charlotte, just the metrics. 11th in the conference, 3-point percent, 9th in the conference, 2-point percent. This team is horrendous. And then you look at what they do defensively, they're the worst defense in the conference. 13th in opponent effective field goal percentage at almost 56%, which is just an absurdly high number. So for me here, I like UNT. I like them laying the 14.5. I think they absolutely roll here on their home floor. The next one we're going to talk about, Michigan State taking on Iowa. Michigan State laying 7.5 points on the road at Iowa. For me here, the first time these two teams are meeting. As I'm speaking, I actually see a couple 6.5s. That's actually kind of interesting because that seems glaringly short. But looking at this game here, Iowa's last home game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, Michigan State's been rolling, the hottest team in all of college basketball. I do think they win here. I don't know why I have such a hard time pushing this button. I think it's because Iowa, we all know they're bad, and I know how this game's going to go, where there's going to be absolutely nobody on Iowa, and somehow, some way, they're going to keep within the 7.5 and just screw everyone. So I think the best way to attack this one is Iowa team total under. It's a nasty play. Obviously, at home, this is a team that typically finds a lot of success. But they're a team that shoots a lot of threes, and you're playing Michigan State, who's been the best three-point defense in the conference pretty much all season, but especially over the last 2 weeks, just not allowing anything, absolutely suffocating. Opponent three-point percent at just 27% in conference play, which is, I mean, that's insanely low. And so for me here, even with Iowa being the home team, I think Michigan State, just under Tom Izzo, is a better coach team. They're going to dictate pace here. They're going to muck this game up and kind of make it a typical Michigan State game, in my opinion. So I like Iowa's team total under. I do, like I said, I do shade towards Michigan State -7.5. But it's just one of those things where I have a weird feeling about it. So I'm going to attack it a different way. Go Iowa team total under. It does conclude the games we want to talk about. This slate, obviously not too great. Just 4 games I felt worth mentioning. We will be doing videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So we will have a pretty nice Saturday card. And then for Tuesday, that jumps into the conference tournaments. I want to say Big 12 and SEC. But yeah, we will have videos 3 days a week for college basketball. And I'm really looking forward to it. So if you guys like what you heard, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys like for this slate, and let's cash.